How's practice been going this week? What do you think of the challenge this week too?
Practice has been great. You know, the way we lost the last game, obviously, the team could go in two different directions, and practice has been lively for the most part. We've gone a lot more good on good, so that always gets the competitive juices flowing. But I have to say, I've been pleased with the tempo of practice and the kids' attitude. And as far as the challenge ahead, they're top 16, 17 ranked team in the country. They've won a bunch of games, and they have some individual players. They're some of the best in the conference. And Ritter at quarterback, Warren, at the tailback spot, and the Gore kid at the tight end spot. I think are some of the more explosive and best players, probably not in the conference in the country at their position.
Could you speak more on the attitude? I mean, this is a time of year when some teams in your position could fragment.
Yes.
I don't sense that from these guys.
No, I think when you see teams that fragment, I think it's a defeatist attitude, and maybe they don't feel like they have the opportunity to win games. I think, from that last loss, I think as a team we saw a lot of missed opportunities that if we make just 2 or 3 different plays that we win the game. So I think that's probably been the most positive, where we just feel like, I know we're 4 and 5 right now, but we feel like a couple different bounces, and if we made a couple more plays, especially on our side of the ball, that record could be flipped and maybe add another win to that.
So the defense, you're not giving up a lot of points. You're doing a lot of good things, especially the past 2 games. How encouraging has that been? I know you're a perfectionist, but you're still doing a lot of good things.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at our goal board, our number one goal is still always is to win. And, I'm always one of those guys that hates when you hear, well, one side of the ball did well, because at the end of the day, it's still about the team, and you have to find a way to win the game. And I think what we always try to motivate our guys is it doesn't matter, stats. Our goal is always to try to outplay the other team's defense. And we really didn't do that on, last Thursday. We had our opportunities, and they got a bunch of tackles for losses, and that's usually what we do. They scored on defense, which is always one of our goals. And so even with some of the things that we did that were positive, the other team's defense kind of outplayed us, and that's why the scoreboard was the way it was.
Coach Bentley with a pretty nice all-around game, filling up the stat sheet a little bit. Talk about how his roles changed through the year, because obviously you didn't know about KJ, until the first game, and then
Yes, sir.
Bentley's kind of nickel guy, but he plays close to the line of scrimmage. Just talk about how his roles evolved over the season.
Bentley's one of our more talented guys. He's one of our special vertically challenged guys. I always give him a little grief about that, but talent-wise, he's off the charts. Athletically, he's probably one of the best athletes on the team, and he's playing one of the tougher positions because we ask him to do so much, and he's one of those guys that always rises to the challenge. I mean, I joke about his size, but if he didn't look in the mirror, in his mind, he's 6'5", 260 pounds, and runs a 4.4. That's the kind of mindset he has, and you love guys like that because they're going to show up ready to play, and whatever the challenge is, that you put in front of them, they're going to try to attack it.
Another guy that's doing a lot, Nick Roberts, a lot of tackles, making plays in the secondary. What have you seen from him this year?
Same. Nick is a kid, like I said, that we really challenged going into the year. We all know how he ended the year last year, and I think he took it upon himself to be better. He wasn't happy with the bowl game from last year and some of the missed tackles, and you can see he's really, really worked on that. And he's one of those guys, between last year and this year, he's one of our veteran players now. I know he's just a redshirt sophomore, but at the end of the day, he's played a lot of snaps here, and he's a guy we look to even in the leadership role right now too. And we've been very, very happy with the production and some of the things that he's done so far.
Coach, what does this say about your defense? I mean, some defenses are a lot of young guys, some are a lot of old guys. You guys have like a mix of everybody, where you got the transfers and everything. What does it say about your defense to seem like those guys have been pulling for each other all year, and you alluded to it before, no fragmentation, everybody seems real together. What kind of sense of pride is that for you as a coach?
I think it speaks more to the culture of the team in general. If we make it about individuals, it can turn into that, because then you can really point the finger. If you focus on individuals, we usually always focus on the team aspect. And defensively, we don't really talk individual stats. We always talk about defensive units that end up helping the team in general. So I think that's just, part of the culture of this team. It's always us against the world, and, what can we do as a defense to, help us win. And we don't really like to single out individuals, even though we have some individuals that are playing well, but I still feel like it's the culture that Coach Strong has kind of put forth and, kind of expects from the team.
You mentioned Cincinnati. They have some of the best players in the conference. Their
Yes, they do.
offense. How do they attack defenses? What's going to be important for you guys to have some success against them?
What you respect about them, they have a big tailback, and he's once a game. The Warren kid breaks off a run where he makes 3 or 4 guys miss, whether he runs through them or runs around them. And then obviously the Ritter kid, the quarterback, was the freshman newcomer of the year last year, and I think he's evolved even more. And, like I said, the DeGora kid at tight end, I think he's very similar to Wilcox and, the plays that they run for him and the explosiveness that he has. So I think he starts right down the middle. I think their offensive line is a physical group. They're one of the top rushing offenses in the country, and they have a great operator at quarterback. And if worst comes to worst, they got a big back they can turn around and hand that ball to and feel like something positive is going to come from it.
How gratifying was it to hear that Mazzy got promoted by the Bucks yesterday?
I told the defense, I actually talked about that with them when I called them up before practice, and I said it's a testament to what football actually is. And you never wish anything, but you had a first-round draft pick that got, obviously released, and then an undrafted free agent gets moved up and he has an opportunity of a lifetime. And I said, that's what all you can ask for. That's what football is. It's not you made it or you haven't made it. It's what you do with your opportunity. So I'm going to make sure I text Mazzy and congratulate him. But like I said, this is just the beginning. All that did was give him an opportunity, and I hope he makes the most of it.